Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading. Welcome to my new Forex Weekly. So again, it's just going to be that video where I'm bringing you the best opportunities for the week, showing you how I'm going to tackle them, and then showing you what you could possibly do. So again, if that sounds good to you, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Like I said, in the next month, there's going to be some really exciting content coming. There's a new beginner's guide, education, and some more just trading tips, some strategy videos within the next couple of months. So again, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date. A quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for everything. Again, it's a very cool magazine. It's available now in all Waitrose and M&S stores. With that being said, let's get straight into the charts. And of course, this week, as always, we're going to check the fundamentals. Okay, guys. So as usual, as you always know, it's time to check them fundamentals. This week, there is really nothing much to write home about. Now, again, Tuesday, Monday, no news, so we're expecting a quiet market. There will be some opportunities to catch your entries without obviously the worry of the manipulation from the news, the fundamental side of things. And of course, as we head into Wednesday now, again, nothing that's really standing out. There's a bit of CPI for the euro. That might cause a little bit of effect on the euro. An employment change for the dollar just after the New York Open. So again, I'll be having a look at that. Thursday, again, nothing much to really write home about. They've got the Bank of England's Governor Bailey speech. Again, that's around 8 o'clock. So just going to be looking to see what that does around the pound. And then, of course, Friday, the main thing about the news this week is the NFP. It's the non-farm payrolls. Okay, so that's going to be this Friday at 1:30, just after the New York Open. And again, just understanding how that news usually plays out. I'm expecting it to go up and go down, kind of take many traders out, and then you'll start to see the real direction next week. So again, just be aware of the fundamentals. Of course, this week, I believe Friday is going to be the main day for that. Okay, guys, so as usual, I'm going to start with the gold stuff, and this is the gold euro. Now, what I want to do is kind of bring the picture to you and show you why I'm looking at what I am this week. So far on the weekly time frame, yes, we've been coming down for the past couple of months or so. And what we're looking at now is just when is this buy push going to come? When is the gold going to start getting strong again? Now, what I want you to focus on is this candle over here that happened on the 16th of March, 2020. And basically, what's happened is price has risen up, walked back down towards the area and played off of that candle. So it lets me know there's definitely something here. Now, by understanding what was there, you can now see that the market makers have obviously moved to this point because this is where they started to move up from. A few weeks back, I was talking about that sell area. Yes, I was expecting it to come a little bit higher. It didn't, and then it's obviously now dropped. So what I'm looking at now is the buying off of this level here. So around the 1473, 1461, I want to see if we're going to get a buy push. If I just come down to the daily, what you'll notice is that last week, price just sat there. It sat where it is, where I've highlighted my yellow candles, and it's just kind of showing its signs that it's building up to something. So just be aware of the 1480 to 1460. Yes, it's a big range. Let's see what price does. I believe it's going to play off of one of these candles that I've highlighted yellow. So again, just mark this down for yourself. That's the gold euro. Now, as you can see, this is the gold USD. Very similar picture. Very similar things have happened. The price action usually follows each other. And again, I'm just looking at how prices come back to this level, pushed away, had a little move back towards it. I believe we're going to get another little cook up from here. So if I just come down to the daily, again, you'll see how price is stuck in this area now, of course, for 6 days. Just sat there. I believe there's a little piece of imbalance we've got here. I believe that's going to be the best thing to look out for. So again, on this one, just be aware more of the 1740 to, let's say, 1755. Okay, so again, let's see what happens. Is price going to get there? Again, later in the week, I'm expecting to see some strength in the gold. So just be aware of these areas. That's the gold euro and the gold USD. Okay, guys, so next up is the big bad US 30. Now, for those of you who caught my video a couple of weeks ago, you would have seen that we caught a very, very good trade from this area. And what I'm looking at now, if I just show you how the price action has developed. So we had price come to this level here, show great signs of pushing off. And again, there was a massive clue that was left on the daily for those of you that have seen the case study video on the US 30. And what you've got now last week is the US 30 rising back up towards this manipulated area, towards a level where we know the market makers have been. And again, what I want you to watch out for this week is just this candle, this scenario here, up here, around the 34, let's say 800 level, around there. And of course, this imbalance level, so the start of that would be around 34, let's say 700. So 34, 700, 34, 800.
we may get another sell push. Don't be so naive. The US 30 usually does make new highs. Be aware of that. Keep a tight stop loss. Keep your risk management tight. That's where I believe the sell is going to come from. So just be aware of that. That's the US 30. Okay, guys, next up is the UK 100. For those of you that follow me, you'll know that I have been hunting down this pair for a long time now. And basically what I want to say is I like what I'm seeing. So I've been mentioning this level just above around the I think it's 7,200, 7,400 level. And for weeks now, price has just been stuck, not really making a new high or a new low, just been stuck underneath this area. It's inside the imbalance. So if I just come down to a daily, what I want to see, I've got the same setup as I'd had last week, hasn't changed. Obviously, price has just got closer to where I want to be. I did mention a buy off of a candle down here. I believe it was the 7,680 mark, I believe. And as you can see, that push has come. I don't want to take that buy. I'm waiting on the longer term sell. So again, if I just come down to a 4 hour now, this is the setup. That's the candle that stands out to me. So this week, I'm looking at, let's say, the 7,179 to the 7,200. Okay, so nice and tight. Let's see what happens early in the week. Are we going to get a push from this area? My advice would be to sell from there. Have your stop loss above the area. If it hits you and takes you out, it takes you out. But it's an area that definitely has the potential to have a push from. That's the UK 100. Okay, guys, let's get into the currencies. This is a trade that I've mentioned numerous times over the last, let's say, 10 videos. It's the 172,500 to the 173 level. Now, what we've had is price just reach up into this week, early in the week, and then we started to see the CAD get strong and have the push down. So what I'm doing now is just keeping an open mind for the week, and of course, seeing what will be the best option. Now, my first one is looking at the potential buy here off the 170 level. So as you can see, there's a candle over here. Our price has already tapped once, twice, and then flown higher. So what I'm expecting now, I still expect price to come up and interact with this level up here, higher than the 173 level. So I'm going to possibly be looking at that buy to then ride up to there, to then focus on what price is going to do at that level. Potentially, I'll be taking profit on the buy and then closing the buy and looking at the sell. So just keep an eye on that. That's the pound CAD. The other one I want to show you is the pound Aussie. Again, keeping an open mind, understanding that there's lots of open contracts in the market. So basically, the first thing I'll be doing, kind of like what I said with the pound CAD, is just looking at this level here, seeing what price is going to do, basically around the 182 level, 182,400. So somewhere in there, I'm just expecting to see price off of this black candle, the body, somewhere in that range. I'm expecting to see a buy push. Now, again, I can see that there's been something left there by the market makers. They're the ones who've pushed the price down from there. So I believe we could get an interaction at the 184 level. So we've got a nice range of around 200 pips. It's definitely something to not turn your nose up at. Just be aware of this area. Expect a buy push from here. Expect a sell push from here. I don't know what time of the week it's going to get there, but just understand them areas and understand what happens. If you can see price starting to wick, starting to show signs of rejection in one of them areas, take that trade. Do not try to take both. Okay. That's the pound Aussie and the pound CAD. Okay, guys, nice simple one here. The pound Swiss, again, I'm still expecting price to retrace fully up into this zone here. The 130 level looks like it's been manipulated by the markets makers, and they pushed the price down. Now, what I'm looking at is, of course, price is heading down. It's heading this way. I want to catch something that's going to actually ride up to there. Now, I believe it's been sitting here for quite some time now, as you can see, and I believe it's almost ready to now make that push to the upside. If I just come down to a 4 hour, what I'm looking at is the 126,500 to the 126, let's say 300 level. I believe we're going to get a push from here. And that's obviously where the target's going to be for that 130 level. It's going to be something long-term. It will be something that you will need to hold on to. It won't happen in a week. But if you can, and you've got the patience, can hold it for 2 to 3, that's where you're going to see the real profits from this one. So that's the pound Swiss franc. Keep an eye on that. Next up is the NZD USD and AUD USD. Now listen up, these are going to be some of my main focuses for the week because of course I'm looking to see some dollar strength. And of course with that NFP news at the end of the week, I believe that's where it's going to go. So here we go. Let me bring the picture to you. Basically, we've had a good push down on the daily. I'm just looking at these swings. We've had a nice retracement. We're coming back up to areas where I know the market makers are obviously bringing price up to then create another transaction, which will then push the market down again. NZD USD, if I just come down to a 4 hour, this is what I'm looking at. So I want to see price kind of bubbling, slow start to the week. towards the latter part of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, I just want to see it sitting around this area, around the 71,400, 71,600, somewhere around there. It can play off the 71,800 as well. So keep that range in mind. I'll be monitoring each area, seeing where price is going to struggle from. But first up will be the 71,400. So just look for a sell from there, let's say to the latter part of the week after Wednesday. So hopefully it's sitting around this area, bubbling, acting really slow, struggling, sitting underneath. And then hopefully later in the week, we're going to get that push. And again, the AUD USD, very similar. This one's got a bit more room to climb. And I'll be looking at the key number of the 77 level. Funny enough, if you look at all of this, the main level, the main key number, the 77, the round number, that seems to be where the market was sitting and then all of a sudden shot away. So just be aware what happens when price gets back to there. Is it going to struggle? Are we going to see a wick? And again, later in the week, US dollar, bang. Be aware of them. That's the NZD USD and the AUD USD. Okay, guys, next up, USD Swiss franc. Again, this is another trade that's going to be geared towards that NFP news at the end of the week. Now, what I'm suggesting here is, of course, we've seen price coming down for a long time. Last week, we started to see some dollar strength. It now looks like it's retracing back to a zone where obviously they've manipulated to create that strength. And if I just come down to a 4-hour, it's that lonesome black candle there that I want you to focus on. Around the 91 level, again, it seems to always be happening around a key number. I'm expecting price to come back down towards there. Again, later in the week, look for your potential buy. We're expecting to see the US dollar get stronger. Now, what I'm aware of is that they've had a stimulus package pumped behind the dollar recently. So there could be, let's say, $2 trillion pumped behind the US dollar. And that's what's creating the strength. So just be aware of that. I'm expecting it to explode again. 9,100, let's say the 9,800 level for the buy. That's the USD Swiss franc. Okay, next up, the Euro USD. Again, it's geared towards that fundamental news at the end of the week. Now, what I want to explain is what we've actually had over the past couple of weeks, couple of months. I've been mentioning the sell around the 123 area. We've had a brilliant drop. Now, as you can see, it got fueled by the interest rate decision that was last week, and that also helped with the drop. Now, there's two potential areas where I believe the sell is going to continue. Now, as you can see on the daily time frame, price only tends to really move down once it's covered the last area. So what I'm expecting is price does need to come back up here before it goes lower. However, there is a couple things that I've noticed. Walk with me. If I just come to the 4-hour, it's this lonesome blue candle here, and it's the 120 level. So we've got two reasons. This obviously a potential scenario that my students would know about. And of course, we've got a key number, which we know the market makers always manipulate around the key level. If I just come to the 2-hour, I just want to explain how I like the way that this looks. We've got the piece of imbalance afterwards. Of course, the key number is what's kind of making me mention this to you. But just be aware of the 120 level. What I'm trying to say is this bus may go and it may be gone already. If that's wrong, that's fine. It will come to the 121 level. This is where the interest rate decision was obviously manipulated. So we know they're sitting there because that's why that big black candle came in. They held the market there for many, many hours and then dropped it. So keep an eye on the 121 level. If the 120 don't work, the 121, hopefully, again, later in the week, looking to see dollar strength. See which one's going to look best. Again, you want to see price go and hit one of them areas with a wicked candle. So something like this, just digging into the area, that will give you the confidence to let you know that what I'm mentioning has potential to happen. So that's the Euro USD. Be aware of that. Okay, guys. Next up, the Pound USD. Very similar to what we just mentioned on the Euro USD. Now, what I want to see is something slightly different. So I'm expecting this to come down early in the week, and then we're going to get the buy push for the pound around the 137, 137,500 level. Okay, so I want to see it take out that low, and then we're going to get the push to the upside. Now, again, we've got our target. It will be the 140, 140,500 mark, where I'm expecting, if I just come down to a 4-hour, to see price interact with that level there. So it's the 141 mark as well. It can come to somewhere around there. So let's say in between 140 to 141. That will be where we're looking to hold our buy up to. Watching price, again, seeing what's going to be the best possible option. And then, of course, the sell around the 141 mark. Again, another key number, another key level. And it looks like it's an untouched buy to sell scenario. So again, just be aware of that. That's the pound USD. Okay, last but not least, the euro pound. Now, again, very simple. I just want to explain my target, explain how we're going to aim to trade this week. Now, I believe we've still got to come down to this mark here. So it's around the 85 mark. Now, if I just come down to a 4 hour, you can see how we've been kind of just dipping out of these areas, dipping out of these areas. You can kind of see the market makers moving away. Now, what they've done is they've ended the week in an area I believe they're going to sell from. So again, there's another key number there. It's the 86 to 86, 200 this time. That's going to be the first area that I monitor for the sell. So it's basically that candle, and to be precise, it's right on the 86, 100 mark in that small body there. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that this has been selling for a long time. There's going to be a lot of traders that are having success on the sell side of the market. That is something that annoys the market makers. So I am expecting a push soon. I'm kind of not being so naive. I want to be in the sell. I want to be with the pound, but I'm expecting the market makers to come through and annihilate that soon. So again, I've just marked out an area here where I know lots of stop losses are going to be, lots of liquidity is building up in that area. So just expect a move also, possibly if this fails, from the 86,500 mark. I'm expecting price to just dip up to there, grab the liquidity. There'll be tons of stop losses above there. And then that's when you may see the energy move. That's obviously they've grabbed the money, they've grabbed a lot of traders out of the market, and then it'll be a lot more volatile. So again, just keep an eye on that. Around the 86,500 mark, monitor which one looks more likely. And again, remember the target down below. Once that's been achieved, close your trade and move on to the next one. That's the euro pound. Keep an eye on it.
Okay guys, that's all from me this week. Again, it looks like the main interest is going to be around the dollar. Of course, we've got that non-farm payrolls at the end of the week. So again, that'll be the time where we look to see the markets really explode. So be patient, let your trades come to you this week. And of course, I'm expecting a more explosive end to the week. So be aware of that. With that being said, guys, just a quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine. Again, it's available in all Waitrose and M&S stores. Go check that out now. And again, if you trade, if you take investments, keep an eye on a couple of trades that I've mentioned in this video. See how they progress over the week and see if you could make some profits. Again, guys, I've been Capital A. Have a great trading week.